Amazon's The Boys is truly an incredible show with many twists and turns, which makes sense for a series based off of a long-running comic book. But did you know that the series isn't actually following its source material story that much now? This has left fans wondering what will happen next. So stay tuned to today's video as we discuss the twist that The Boys fans think they've figured out. First up, what have they figured out and what is this twist? Giancarlo Esposito's stan Edgar quickly became a fan favorite after he was introduced in the second season of the series. He had a massive part in the early parts of season 3 and fans think they've figured out the big secret behind him. Edgar isn't afraid of Homelander and even has an adopted sugar daughter, so many are assuming that he's actually a super in disguise. There isn't too much to back this up, but when you think about it, this reveal would actually make a lot of sense. One large theory going around now says that Edgar is actually a mind-controlling super and has been puppet mastering everything for a while behind the scenes. The show depicts Edgar in a very controlling way, with some extreme close-ups of his eyes and his face. Many are thinking that this is a subtle hint to the fact that Edgar's actually a super and is controlling those on screen around him. Prime examples include Edgar meeting Madeline Stillwell in season 1, when he told her to say thanks for her promotion, or negotiating with cult leader Alistair Adama about allowing A-Train back into the Seven in season 2. Season 3 already has several potential examples, with Edgar even telling Starlight that real power is the ability to bend people to your will. While it's a nice idea to imagine Edgar as some sort of Professor Xavier-inspired mind control mastermind, however, there are some flaws to the theory. Although Edgar was previously theorized to be behind season 2's head-blowing twist, and Esposito says he imagines his character with compound V in his veins, others are unconvinced that Edgar's a super puppet master. A strong argument is that he'd simply be able to stare Senator Robert Singer into buying his V24 compound. While another said what makes Edgar an altogether scarier addition to The Boys is that he's simply a master manipulator without the addition of superpowers. Sadly, we cannot even look to the pages of The Boys comic book for answers or clues, as Edgar isn't even a major character in the books. In fact, he's name-dropped and killed off-screen, then replaced quickly after that. Edgar's being framed as a secret villain, and it's going to be interesting seeing what might happen later on. Giancarlo, who plays Edgar, is known for his extremely amazing villainous roles in television, from his role as Gus Fring on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul to his most recent portrayal as Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian season 1 and 2. This clearly sets Giancarlo up for playing another secret bad guy, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Our final theory that Reddit and the internet seemingly agree on is that Edgar is the one who gave Queen Maeve the Temp V for Butcher and the other boys to use. Currently, we don't know where she's getting it from and she isn't charging Butcher for it, meaning she must be getting it from someone for free also. Edgar wants to take down the Seven and get Vought out of the superhero business, so if he gives the boys Temp V, that makes a lot of sense. He would know that Butcher and the others want to take everyone down, so using Maeve to deliver the V makes sense. Obviously, we don't know what's next for the series, but after the latest episode, literally anything could happen. If you've watched episode 5, Herogasm of season 3, then you know what we're talking about here. The show is nuts and could get even crazier now that Homelander seems to be unhinged. Starlight really messed up his public perception, so things might get even crazier from here. Let us know down in the comments section below what you think about The Boys so far, and what might be happening with Edgar in the future. If you have any other theories, we'd love to hear them as well. And now on to some other television news from the last few weeks. Next up, here's everything you should know about Peacemaker Season 2. Speaking of other superhero shows, Peacemaker Season 2 has already been announced and is in the works. Despite the new season of the series being announced by James Gunn on Twitter, there happens to be no release date just yet. Many series have this happen to them because they're already in production. We know that Gunn has already written the series, but he's occupied with the filming of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This means he probably won't be releasing the series until 2024. However, there are still a lot of things for you to know about the new season, so let's get into it. The first thing to cover is the cast of this new season of Peacemaker. We already know that of course John Cena will return as Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker. But who else is going to return for another season of this amazing series? Another person who's more than likely to return is Freddie Stroma as Vigilante. He was one of the best parts of the first season, so it all makes sense for him to come back. Danielle Brooks, Steve Agee, and Jennifer Holland should also all be returning as their respective characters. However, one character that doesn't seem to be returning is Myrn, who was killed off in episode 7 of the show. Though characters can come back to life in the DC universe, it doesn't seem likely that this character character will come back. Though White Dragon was killed in the show, he could return inside Peacemaker's mind, or in flashbacks as he's a pivotal character for Cena's development in the show. Though the ending of Season 1 wrapped up things very well, there are obviously some threads that could lead into the next season. From what we know already, Gunn says he's still figuring out the details of it all. He says that his writing takes shape better if he focuses on the characters rather than the story at first. He creates the story around his well-written characters, as to focus on them more. Let us know down in the comments below what you think about Peacemaker Season 1 and how excited you are for Peacemaker Season 2. Finally, The Flash has been renewed. Will the show ever end? The Flash has been going strong for 7 seasons now. We are currently in the middle of its 8th season with a new storyline about to start airing very soon. Fans have been wondering for a long time how long The Flash will go on for. The first series in the Arrowverse, Arrow, lasted for 8 seasons. Its final season was caught up in the massive crossover event Crisis on Infinite Earths, but we also got that final season dedicated to its end. It's not like the series was cut off like many others. Even shows like Supergirl that have ended recently had a real ending and a wrap-up season for its characters. Now that The Flash has been renewed for its 9th season, we're hoping that Season 10 will be its last. Not because the show is awful or anything, it's because it makes so much sense. Season 9 was announced without the CW stating that it would be its final season, so we know another one is coming after that. For The Flash's story to have a great resolution, Season 10 makes sense. Even if it's just a 9-episode season similar to Arrow, it would fit very well. So why does this make so much sense? Well, it's because of what the show has been setting up since its beginning. The Flash vanishing in a crisis during 2024 has been a part of the show since its first season, though many believe that this story was concluded in Crisis as another Flash met his end during that event. Our Barry needs to meet that fate. The big theory right now is that during the final season of The Flash, we're going to get a loop of sorts. We need to meet the original Reverse Flash who killed Barry's mother and became Harrison Wells. We have had a Reverse Flash for a long time now, but the original hasn't appeared yet. The one who started it all hasn't appeared before Barry. What do you want to happen in order for The Flash to wrap up? Let us know down below. And that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know down in the comments section below. It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye!